Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to your ITFC live fan match reaction. It's finished Lincoln 1, Ipswich Town 1. Town take a draw. What are your thoughts following that one then? I don't know what to say anymore. What are your thoughts following the 1-1 draw? We've got two options for you this afternoon, as after all, it is your platform. It's a chance for you, the fan of Ipswich Town FC, to have your say on your football club, one community, one Ipswich Town, unfiltered and in your own words. We have a live chat for you to get involved in, or you can click the link when it comes your way and you can have your say. I tend to ask, if you've not seen our stuff before on the match reaction, I tend to ask a couple of questions, such as, your thoughts on the game, a player that stood out, what went right, what went wrong, etc., etc. So it's finished today 1-1. Lincoln had a man sent off. Was it good enough for you? Is this team as good as you thought? Is the squad as good as you thought it was? Here is your League One table following today. As you will see, Ipswich Town have dropped out of the top two. They did at one point have a fairly hefty cushion, but they've now dropped out of that top two, sitting in third on 50 points, 2 away from Wednesday, 6 away from Plymouth, Derby, game in hand, 9 points. So still a little way of to go there, but we have just surrendered the lead to now finish it, or drop into third. I'll get a couple of comments and I'll welcome in some people. Glenn Page, why can't we shoot? Too many touches. Richard Chandler, season doesn't finish in January. Glenn Page, Ashton, get the cash out. Shy against 10 men. Need to have a plan B. Blur, absolutely horrible result. Almost mimics last time we played them. We desperately need someone who can score goals consistently. I'm not sure why McKenna thought it was a game to bench our best attack. Chris Boyd, where's Crunchy to say it's an amazing away point? Not getting a proper striker in last January has already cost us automatic promotion. He fears just not. I do circle back to the back end of that window as the reason why we're sort of hitting, for me, the trouble now, because overall, I don't think the squad has the quality in the right areas. But I'm really going to see what you guys and girls think this evening. Ian Davis, garbage. We can't beat Lincoln with 10 men. It's Lincoln, not effing Barcelona. Harp says bullshit. Could just end the show there, to be fair. It's a fairly accurate statement. Gino, do not like the thought of the lottery of the playoffs one bit. This result today is a sore one to take. David, Lincoln have a great home record. I don't want to hear that, to be fair. They had a man sent off for majority of the game. We don't have any excuses this afternoon, do we, Alex?
Not good enough.
Okay, tell me, what were your thoughts on the game? You say not good enough? Fill in those blanks for the guys and girls at home.
No, it was the typical thing for me of not having enough quality in the final third. Ladapo need to learn to stay on side.
I think a lot of them do, to be fair. There's an awful lot of them today.
The one shining light was Cameron Humphreys, for me.
Yeah, he came on. He's got the goal. Kind of Chaplin came on, created the goal.
But I think it's clear that there needs to be investment in this squad in January and quickly.
January, yes, yeah.
The depth just isn't there, and I thought Greg Lee tried, but he's not Lee Davis. There was no speed down that left-hand side like there normally is. I think we really missed Leaf today in terms of his set-piece delivery. But you've got to credit Lincoln. They went down. Mark Kennedy's got them organised. But the fact that we can't beat Lincoln with 10 men for that length of time, and we're the ones battling to save a point, says a lot.
Yes, yeah. Reece Curtis there, not good enough. More points dropped. Investment needed now. That's exactly what you were just saying there. You need to get that checkbook out and get moving on it. Is that how you feel?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. You know, we can't get drawn into another George Hurst situation. You know, where we're chasing one player all for the entire window, and then that doesn't come off, and then we're left scratching around at the last minute. You know, you need to get that business done early, so McKenna's got time to embed them. You know, I think it needs to happen this week. Because I think, you know, with us now having the FA Cup game next week, you know, it gives them sort of almost a week leading up to the FA Cup game and then a week leading up to Plymouth. I think, you know, there need to be a decent amount of time to get those guys in. I think we need a couple before Lincoln, not Lincoln, Plymouth even. Because you can play all the football you want to play, but if you haven't got someone that's going to put it in the net on a regular basis, then and Connor Chaplin can't do it on his own.
No, but as I said at the start of the show, he is our talisman. When he plays well, we play well. When he scores, we score. Again, didn't look like doing anything until Connor Chaplin arrives. It's not what the result we want, but to save the day. Look, I'm a firm believer, Alex. If you make the bench, you can play from the start, and I'll get as much as I can out of you, and then I'll make the change. He's on the bench. He doesn't start. We're a better team without him. With him, sorry, much better team with him.
But I still think it goes back to maybe it's McKenna trying to sort of, you know, give him a rest. But then your argument is, could we have been 2 or 3 up with him on, and then you bring him off? But hindsight's a wonderful thing, you know. To be honest, we should have had enough to beat Lincoln.
Okay.
And I think it speaks volumes to you know, maybe the lack of depth that we thought we had. I think TJJ is a big miss.
I think it's turning into a big, but I think it's turning into a bigger miss because of the back end of the window we had in the summer. You know, you had me not in the squad. We don't know why. You said it in the pre-game show. Jackson isn't a goal scorer. He's probably a wide player.
Literally, it wasn't sticking first half at all.
I actually thought today he played really well. You know, to his credit, he got the guys obviously sent off by the fact he's tenacious, he runs, he's got pace, he's on that last shoulder. We weren't creating a hell of a lot of chances for him today.
No.
But stats are stats. They don't care for people's feelings, and the goals column has always been a bit light. You feel through his time here at Town. Okay, so definitely 1 point, definitely 2 points drop for you today.
Yeah, absolutely. We should have had enough. I thought. It's the one blessing is we weren't beaten, but you know, you've now got Sheffield Wednesday ahead of us. You've now got, you know, so the pressure's now on us.
Yeah,
it's flipped. The pressure's now on us to go and get results. And
okay, do you want to give me your man of the match, or do you feel none of them deserve to be man of the match? I don't know how you feel.
I think you've got to give it to Cam Humphrey just for coming on and getting himself in that position to score the goal. Had we not done that, then we'd be even further behind. So I know you don't like to give it to a player that came on with 20 minutes to go, but I think he did.
He wins the game, or George wishes the game
more than the other 9 put together.
Sure. Yeah. No. If he comes on and rescues the game, he's got to be man of the match. You know, that's one of those unwritten rules against. But he didn't win the match. He rescued a point. Okay, Alex, appreciate you coming on this afternoon. You look after yourself, have a beer, and try and forget about being a football fan for a certain amount of time.
All right, guys.
All the best. Mike Baker, 57 shots in 2 against Lincoln, 1 goal scored. That right there has a massive story. First-class goal getter is needed. Matt Johnson, Jackson can go. Got the red, but he was never going to score if he was through. Ship him out on loan somewhere. Aaron, our tactics aren't working consistently enough. We are poor. Happy Clappers will still be out in force. We've got our first Happy Clapper siren. I mean, woo! Happy Clapper. I love that saying. It just makes me laugh inside. Happy Clapper. Jack, not disagreeing with the point, not agreeing with it either, but it just makes me laugh. Crying out for some quality on the right-hand side. Burns does very well to beat his man, but lacks the final product. Chris McBain, possession means nothing Well, we knew that on the Lambert, didn't we, to be fair? If you don't use it to score goals, Ashton, get the checkbook out and get a quality finisher. Steve Wright couldn't hit a barn door. Get a striker, whatever the cost, break the bank, we won't get promotion. That may be a blessing. No doubt we need at least 3 players. Luco, man of the match for Ian Davis. Carl Duncan, no plan B, all good. Playing across the back, trying to pull them out of position. There's no pace at all. At some point, sure to mix it up and make the opposition think. Don't forget, come and Talking Town 5th Saturday today. Hit the join button or head to Ko-Fi. While you do that, you can hear too the delicious sounds of somebody who thinks this is a rather overreaction Monday. Richard Chandler, welcome in. How you doing?
Are you right?
I'm not. But you're going to make me feel so much better.
No,
so,
I'm not. I'm not either. But
what are your thoughts this evening, sir?
I think it's 2 points dropped. There's no doubt about that. But I think saying that that's the season over and some of the nonsense that I've read already in the last 10 minutes while I've been sat listening to you and Alex just is such a overreaction. It's untrue. Does anyone honestly think that at the beginning of the season they wouldn't have said yes, please, to only 3 losses all season and to having still scored 47 goals now, I think, in the league?
45.
But the biggest issue is we're giving away silly goals every single game. We are creating chances. We're not finishing them. And I do think we do need a backup striker to Ladapo. But we've given away soft goal again today, soft goals against Portsmouth, soft goals in the game before the Oxford game. Just constantly soft goals now. And that's what needs looking at.
What specifically about it needs looking at? What's causing the underbelly to be soft, as it were, at Portman Road? And by the way, I would have asked how many draws, because 7 draws for me is not good enough.
No, I think it's not. But you look historically at teams that finish in the top 2 or 3 of this division, 6 or 7 losses gets you promoted. And you can probably draw 12, 13 games in that period. So we've still got it in us to get promoted. All these people saying we won't get promoted, do they really think Plymouth and Sheffield Wednesday are going to win every game the rest of the season? And they will both come to our place and try and actually play football, which a lot of teams don't try and do.
As Lambert once said, it's better to be the hunter than the hunted. And we've certainly made ourselves now the hunter and not the hunted, because the points differential is now 2 points to Wednesday, as when it was for a while, Richard, in our favour.
It was, but it's already changed a lot through the course of the season. There was a point earlier in the season when Plymouth had a 6 or 7 point gap. Then it was 5. Then it was nothing. Then it was back to 6. It's changing left, right, and centre. And the transfer window's a day old. There's going to be a lot happening in the transfer window for a lot of clubs.
Plymouth have, I'm not going to sort of jump in with the transfer window because it's 2 days old. Plymouth done some business. Other teams haven't done any business. You'd be massively overacting to say, where is my transfer now? But, on today, Matt Johnson has a point here. Not a complete overreaction. Teams know how to get points off us. And they do regularly now.
They do it because they watch how other teams score us against us, which is basically set pieces. We don't concede goals from open play. I think it's a penalty, probably, having watched it back now. But I think if that's a penalty, you probably give 5 or 6 penalties every game because every corner, defence and attack is like that, with players pushed left, right and centre.
Yeah. But
Brannigan was wrestling Burns against Oxford for the entirety of the game and got away with it.
Yeah, it was a funny decision based on what you've just said there. I completely agree with you. But again, if you don't do your job, you're going to give the referee the chance to make the decision that hurts you. 100%. We do this too often, and it's almost like we want to be 2004, 3, 2, 1 Arsenal under Arsene Wenger. Like, forget about a scoring goal. We want to score a perfect goal where you look it back on Soccer AM next week and go, look how many passes Town made for this wonderful goal. Like, score. Put a fucking ball in the net, get back to the halfway line and go again. We don't seem to want to take that raffle ticket on.
And I think if there's a defence of McKenna's selection today, it's that he thinks that, I don't agree, but he thinks that having Jackson play up front instead of Ladapo gives them a different type of attack and different type of option. I think it probably does if you've got a better player than Jackson doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. But then that's all you got to work with, isn't it? Jackson and Adapo. I mean, how have we arrived in that position where we've got the two? Obviously, Torres John Jules out injured. Hadme, we have never seen really much of. We needed a real quality striker at the back end of the window in the summer. It didn't arrive, and we have to obviously bring one in now. And what price do you put on it? I asked that a couple of weeks, Richard. But now looking at it, for me, if I'm a seller, I'm licking my lips if Mark Ashton phones me, because I know you've gone from 8 points clear, or wherever the hell it was, to 2 behind. You've got money in the bank. I'm thinking a bit differently to how I probably did a month ago, because I know Town are maybe smelling a bit of a desperate bunch.
And I think that's happening with Clark Harris, if you believe reports online. I think we're very quickly in danger of having a similar situation as to what we had with Hurst in the summer, where we get played by clubs. And whether you think Hurst would have been a good signing or not is a different debate. I personally don't think he's worth the money that was being touted.
I agree.
But we got played, and there's no other way to discuss that. He was signing, he wasn't signing. He was leaving Leicester, he wasn't leaving Leicester. They give him a new contract, and then he goes somewhere else. And you're like, yeah, you definitely knew what you were doing, either him or his agent or his club. Same as Selena's dad tried to do with us.
There were some tweets there, weren't there? But then we had that a couple of times. We had Matt Crooks, who were chasing, didn't arrive. Went to the championship in the end, did he? Selena, yeah, a number of players. But you want to remain positive. So give me some positivity. Give me and the guys and girls at home, the ones maybe losing their heads, if you were.
The positivity is that we've got some players that are ready for the championship now. The positivity is that they're going to see us through and get us to where we need to be come May, because you've got players like Morsey, who is a class above, and so is Chaplin. Burns is still good. He's getting pelters in here, but I don't watch the same game as some people, I don't think, because I just don't see it. I think he's still performing at a good level. He's just getting doubled up on a lot. I think that we've got Evans back now, and he may not have had his greatest game today, but he's still... And I think Humphreys has done well when he's come off the bench, but I think Chaplin's the one who has made the difference because he's a class above. And I said before, maybe your option actually is to start Chaplin as a number 9. Because Aluko did well at 10 today. Maybe you have a Aluko and you play Chaplin as a number 9 if you want a different type of number 9.
Define do well for me.
Sorry, I lost you.
Define do well for me. Because he looked, as he always does, comfortable on the ball, slick possession. But when it came to actual sort of credible opportunities, I can't think of two that jump out at me right now. But perhaps I'm missing them. What does do well sort of mean to yourself in terms of that position?
Sorry, my mics went a bit then. So what does do well mean in terms of what? Sorry,
Aluko. Because for me, Aluko was slick in possession, looked good, in terms of keeping the ball, but in terms of actual end product, I can't remember too many opportunities. And maybe I'm missing them. Maybe I'm,
No, I think he breaks. I think he breaks up play well. I think if you ended up with a scenario, I personally don't necessarily think that he's a number 10.
Okay.
I think you might end up with him being better alongside Evans or Morsey if you needed them to. I don't know how many bookings Evans has got now, but he must be getting close to 5 if he hasn't already, because he got booked again today, didn't he? So we'll miss him.
Yeah.
And Morsey's on 8, so Morsey will miss 2 games at some point soon as well.
Okay. All right. Yeah, well, you're right. Absolutely. So another midfield player, do you think you're bringing a central midfield player?
Again, my headphones have just gone.
That's all right. I'll let you go, Richard, because I'm losing you. I'll bring Curtis in. Appreciate you stopping by. Kurt, I'll ask you, a central midfield player. I'll put a little bit on it. Are we getting enough out of Evans and Morsey? 3 goals each. Evans with 2 assists, Morsey with 3 assists. Is that the type of production at this point in the half, the Christmas point of the calendar, that you should be expecting from your midfield too. That Evans has been injured for a while.
Yeah,
but particularly Morsey, 3 goals, 3 assists.
I mean, for me, when they came in, we knew that none of them were going to be grabbing the headlines. We knew they weren't going to be in the goals as much as some midfielders are. We knew exactly what we were getting. We were getting 2 steady top League One Championship players. That's exactly what we were getting. We weren't getting goal scoring midfielders. Bar Evans scoring the odd worldie, this, that, and so other. I just don't think we really have a goal scoring midfielder in our squad. For me, I'm gonna just flip this tonight. I personally, I'm gonna put me Stephen. I'm gonna put me Stephen hat on, and I'm gonna say it. I don't see how it can be 2 points dropped tonight. We were never in a strong enough position to let it be 2 points dropped. We weren't ahead in that game. We weren't ahead because we didn't enforce ourselves on the game enough to be ahead. So we were behind 1-0, and luckily we've managed to get an equaliser. And without being funny, the next 20 minutes on from that equaliser, I think was the most passion in that game that I saw from our side. Certainly, at least trying to push for that second goal. I thought all that time leading up to it, I thought, well, whilst we were probably certainly the better team after they had their man sent off, I don't think we had really anything to shout about. But it can't be 2 points dropped tonight. It can't be, because we didn't enforce ourselves. We didn't allow ourselves to be in a position where it could be 2 points dropped. It's a point gained. That is exactly what it is. We were one goal behind. We've got back to 1-1, and unfortunately we didn't get the winning goal, which unfortunately is becoming a bit of a theme at the moment. I think for me, the game management is starting to become a bit more questionable as time goes on, in terms of times of substitutions, and certainly how we're playing in terms of breaking down these mid-table teams. To be honest, I think for a neutral today, which I've not heard much been said, for a neutral watching that game today, I thought up until that sending off, I thought the game was a fantastic game. I actually thought it was just 2 teams knocking it back to each other. I thought for a neutral, it's a good game to watch. But for me, as a Town fan, I am disappointed today. I think the whole thing about tempering our expectations and realising we've still got another half of the season to go, it's all well and good, but we are slowly and steadily dropping out of what was a good position we had. So you do need to start asking questions. I'm not saying put doubt into the management team, and I'm not saying put doubt into the team, but you do need to start asking little questions about what is going on compared to the form that we had in at the start of the season coming up. You have to ask what's slowly being found out by other teams, whether that be other teams being able to read us a lot better than what they were at the start. Because without being funny, I saw a comment earlier. We are very much a stat padding team. We love at the end of the game to have 60% possession, 70% possession, and then the shots might say that we've had about 6-7 shots. But realistically, like today, again, we might have had a few shots, but has their goalkeeper really had to dive into the corners? Has he really had to get the armpit of his shirt dirty? Has he really had to do any of that? I don't think he has. I think the most of the shots we have, they're either right at him or they're missing the goal. And unfortunately, I think that does come with not having that cutting edge at the top. We seem very lovely at the back. Sometimes we seem very lovely in the middle, but when it comes to the top, we do seem to just be a bit boring when it comes to it. Be a bit boring. That's the issue. We're very readable up front. I think very readable.
What do you say about to Ian Davis's comment here? It's about momentum and the direction of travel. This is a bit of a lull. Others are on the rise. The Trotters and the Owls, for example.
Yeah, it's exactly what Ian says there. Unfortunately, we're now finding ourselves in whether people want to believe it or not. This is a drop in form. It is a drop in form compared to how we've been playing. So whether you believe it's not, it's a fact. It just is. And for me, in the way the league's shaping up to be this season, I mean, you look at that top 3. You've got Plymouth, Sheffield Wednesday, us, and people say, well, do you believe Plymouth and Sheffield Wednesday are going to keep winning the games? They might not, but at the moment they are. they're picking up form in a quick rate of speed, whereas we seem to be dropping off very slightly. We seem to be taking our foot off that pedal, which, again, that could be rectified this month. It could be rectified in January with additions, but you need to start asking certain questions about why we seem to have been letting off. Because without being funny, that second half today, we had a man advantage, and what did we do with it? I thought, again, we came out very slow. We didn't try and force ourselves on the other team. I thought that, to be honest, it was written, sod's law. They were gonna always get that goal, and then we were gonna be fighting against it. It's written into law with us. But unfortunately, some questions need to be asked, and whether that's just tweaking certain things, whether that's game, like I say, game management, I think for me is a big one at the moment. Because if Chaplin's on your bench, I know there's been illness and I know there's been injuries, but for me, if Chaplin's on your bench, he can at least come on at 60. As I messaged you during the game, he can at least come on at 60.
Yeah, it will give you 60 off from the start. Ashley says the positive is we've got a week or more break from league football now to recoup and hopefully add to the group. Obviously, before I bring the fisherman in, and then I've got Steve, and then we're going to finish with Neil. That is a great way to end from the yin and the yang. And in the middle, and in the end, we'll have Neil to give us the actual balance. But Plymouth are up next at home in the league. We've got 4 from 9 over the Christmas period. We've dropped points before that. Obviously, someone says in the chat, not quite right since Charlton. You're trepidatious about playing Plymouth now?
Of course I am. The top of the league. But then again, I'm an Ipswich fan. I'm a bit trepidatious by playing any team in this league.
In general, yeah.
But of course I am. I think when you look at a team in such good form and I've not seen a lull from them as of yet. When you look at a team like that, and I mean, for me, you don't know what's going on. You don't know what's going to happen in the next week. For all we know, we could bring in 2 star signings, and therefore that could give the team the boost that they need. But for me, of course, I'm nervous. Of course, I'm nervous to play Plymouth because I think we can't play like we have, like tonight. We can't take our foot off the pedal. We can't tap it around. We can't tip it around. We need to play all guns blazing like we did for that last 20 minutes. We shouldn't need that kick up the arse, though. In my opinion, we shouldn't need it. For that last 20 minutes there was only one team in it. There was only one team pushing and pushing and pushing. And yeah, we had that man advantage. But why can't you just, you know what's on the line. You know that the minute you take your foot off that pedal, you're going to start slowly slipping back. And that's the issue. So if other teams can do it, as they clearly are, why can't we do that? What is going on at the moment that's stopping us from giving it that extra percent in the gallon? What's going on? So we just and I say, by all means, today before the game, I personally wasn't expecting to win anyway. I think the majority wouldn't expect to win there today. I think as the old cliche goes, there's no easy games in football. But as Lincoln's home record proves, it is very hard for other teams to get a win there. But for me, I think just there are certain small questions that need to be just answered now regarding where we go from day 2 in the transfer window now, who we get in, whether the players we get in are going to be just squad filler or whether we're going to have players who actually boost that first 11. Because if we're just going to have squad filler, it hardly gets your blood pumping, does it? So I think your transfers now need to be big statement signings. But I have full trust. I have full trust in the backroom staff that this month they will get those done. I have full trust.
Okay, perfect. Curtis, as always, a pleasure. Look after yourself, and we'll speak very soon.
Certainly.
All the best. David said we need to play 2 up front now. Full stop. Change the way we play. We're too predictable. Also, the €10 super stick from David. Thank you very much, David. Appreciate that. Thanks for your support in 2022 and now in 2023. Womble, that's 2023 done for me. Roll on 2024. JD is our best one-on-one defender, but his use of the ball is shocking. And Ian says agreed. 3 proper signings. His name is Schooled, but you know him as the Fisherman. What are your thoughts following today's Lincoln 1, Town 1? Town take a draw.
Well, let's be honest. When I see the lineup, I thought that was it. It completely lost me anyway. I said pre-game show. I said we're lucky to get a win out of this, and we didn't. And we were lucky to get a draw out of it. Look, I'm sorry, but am I missing something here? All I can get told by Ipswich Town fans is, "Oh, our team is championship players. We've got championship players in our team." Really? Where? Because again, okay, you could argue Chaplin, but who else then? Because I've not seen these championship players that are outplaying other players in this league. I've not seen them. The Morsey's a championship player. So what? He played in the championship. Where was his captaincy today? Lee
What
Evans,
do you mean by?
what was he doing today?
What do you mean?
A young lad who I've been praising for all this time to come on and save a point for us against 10 men mid-table Lincoln. I don't subscribe to this. Oh, it's only we're not second now. We're third, and we've got 20 games to go. Crap. The reality is we should be beating teams like Lincoln, and the reality is we are not. And I am putting the blame firmly on Kieran McKenna because he sets the team up, he sets the players up, he chose that team today. If you're fit enough to be on the bench, you're fit enough to start. That's an absolute joke. What Jackson wouldn't get in an under 10 side. He is absolute dog shit.
Got the
nothing.
red card. Was through on goal. I mean, is that a little bit harsh on the player? We don't create an awful lot of chances for him.
Jackson's only ability is to fall over. Every time he gets the ball, he falls over. So to get the red card for him.
Disagree with that. He's got a lot going for him. Not necessarily. Okay, all right. Moving it on.
He started, yeah. And how many goals he scored today? Oh, that would be 0 again.
0. You mentioned the championship players. We have got a couple of names coming in. Leif Davis being one. Walton, Morsey, Davis, Chaplin, Walton, Davis. Lots of Davis, Chaplin, Walton, Morsey comments.
Morsey? No, I'm sorry. I've yet to see anything. Look, Morsey's a good player at this level.
Okay.
But would he do it in the championship? I have to question it. I can't see where this, to the point where he got petulant towards the end because things weren't going his way. I don't remember Matty Holland doing that.
AD says, as I said earlier, the honeymoon's over for KM. He has got to be more accountable, says AD Crouch.
Absolutely he has. He chose that bloody team today. I mean, that was ridiculous.
But is it a little bit harsh to be looking at McKenna, because what you're telling me is you look at that team and you're really speaking about the striker, right?
No, I'm talking about the team as a whole. Look at this. Look. Right. When was the last time I said this the other night. When was the last time we won back-to-back games in this league? That would be October. And that was Derby and Port Vale. We haven't won back-to-back games since. To get promoted out of any league and to win a title of any league, you have to win your games. And I'm sorry, but you've got a manager at Plymouth, right, on a budget, on a shoestring, that's come in this season and they're flying in this league. You've got Sheffield Wednesday, right, whose manager knows this league really well. We've got an inexperienced manager in Kieran McKenna, who, look, let's be fair, right, he's got an open checkbook. He's able to go out and buy players, but this lack of changing things, it's so poor. There's been times when I think, what? We started off beginning of the season 3 at the back, and then we've gone 4 at the back. And since we've gone 4 at the back, we've got worse.
I'm more with Lewis, where he says, to be fair, McKenna hasn't got much to work with right now. Jackson, awful. Ladapo, average. Ashton, pull your finger out. Ladapo striker.
Scored how many goals?
I think it's 9. Is it 9?
Okay, so how many Jackson scored then? Is it 2? I think they were what? No, where was that? I can't think what it was now.
Ladapo's got 8 and Jackson's got 3.
Yeah, but in the league I'm talking about. I mean,
I believe that is in the league.
Jackson. I still struggle to understand what that player offers anything. The only thing he did today was get in front of that player and do what he does best, and that's go down. Humphreys came on and he offered more than the whole of that midfield. And then bang, he bangs in a lovely little header, gets in the box. You know, we've got to get promoted, to get automatic. You can forget automatic promotion playing like we are. That ain't happening in a million years. Not in a million years is automatic promotion happening right now.
Mm. Do you think we need...
Look, I'm not saying it won't, but I'm saying right now it's not happening. Because unless we bring in some players and quickly, we are telling you now, we are going to be in the playoffs. And look at MK Dons last year. Probably, I'd argue...
I didn't do anything, people at home, just in case they're wondering. I did not do anything. Oh, he's back. No, you're not back. I can't... What the hell's going on here? Mike, are you there? No, I can't hear you. Try and come back in a second. I'll read a couple of comments while you sort it out. I didn't do anything, I promise you. Wazza, this philosophy of always having the ball needs to change. Sometimes you let your... Oh, I might ask Mike that when he comes back. Curtis Yates, Jackson's a wide player. Dapo is the only out-and-out striker we have. Therefore, a big star signing striker needs to come in. Ian Davis, the comparison between Ladapo and Jackson is irrelevant. Only strikers we have, we need a better one. I agree with that, Ian, full-heartedly. Paul P. McKenna is going to have to show what he's made of the next few weeks to avoid this blip becoming a real problem. Craig at Portman. Luca in the Championship, 3 years ago on online poll, 93% of Reading fans wanted him gone when his contract was up. Looks great, little end product. Morgan Whittaker needed more than ever now. Gareth Grayson, why not do we let Lord go? These strikers are worse. I might ask Fisherman that, but then I probably won't, to be fair. Let's bring Stephen Parry in while we wait for the Fisherman. Stephen, if you know, from the yin to the yang, from one extreme to the other end of the balance, what are your thoughts following this afternoon's 1-1 draw?
Well, it's disappointing. Of course it is. Anybody who say it's not disappointing is delusional. But the top and bottom of it is, once again, it wasn't the fact that we lost. It's the fact that we were the bringers of our own downfall.
Again,
you know, we give away a soft. We all knew the first goal was going to be tough. Bolton found that out the other day. And what did we do? Give a soft free kick, a soft penalty away when there was no challenge on the ball whatsoever. It's as if the referee was ready to give that penalty no matter what. Because I was listening to Lincoln commentary, and they were cheering the player, saying, "Well in for getting in the referee's ear prior to the corner being taken." So he'd already laid the groundwork, and then what? KVY just falls into the trap, and we're 1-0 down. And from there, we're chasing. And I said at half time, I didn't think the red card was a red card, and I stand by that. I think there was cover, and I do think that top and bottom of it, I would have said the same if it was our player. All these people saying it was definitely a red, they wouldn't have said it if it was a town player. It was a town player taking a player down, and they'd be saying, no, it's a yellow. So I like to be consistent, and I think it was a yellow. And I think they played better with 10 men. And the amount of times I've seen teams play better with 10 men, it's more often than teams with 11 men. Because we were damaging them, even with 11 men. And they're like, found a way. They were always going to be, once they went down to 10 men, they were always going to be 2 banks of 4 and 1 striker, and then play off the set pieces. And then what does KVY do? He falls into the trap. And then we're 1 down. And then they're going to defend like dogs, like they did against Portland.
Did we ever damage them? You say we damaged them.
Oh, Wolfie at the back.
Okay.
Which more than what they offered.
They had 10 men. They had 10 men, 2 extra 4, 1 up front. I don't expect them to offer it.
That's not the point.
But one opportunity is not enough against 10 men, is it not?
I'm not saying it. We had one opportunity. We've had more than one opportunity. You know, the keeper's made a couple of saves and tipped them over the bar. The top and bottom of it is, we fell into their trap. KVY came on and fell into the trap that they laid. And that's where, we can say we're not playing very well. I still go back to the fact we put pressure on this team week in, week out. Everybody puts pressure on. The fans are going, oh, it's must win. Puts more pressure on. And you don't think players read social media? Yes, they do. And they see every game's a bloody must win. They see the media ramping up. They see opposition fans saying, oh, well, they should be beating us. They've spent £2 million. Opposition managers saying the same. We have had more pressure put on this team than any other. And I don't see Plymouth fans, ranting and raving, when they drop a point.
If they think this is pressure, Steve, wait until the business end of the season when the playoffs come around. That's pressure. So you're saying they can't handle pressure right now?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I've said we've had it since August. Plymouth haven't even had any yet. They've not had any bloody pressure yet. We've had it since August. Am I saying that we don't need changes? No, I'm not. Am I saying that we did everything right? No, I'm not. I'm saying we fell into their trap. They laid a trap and we fell into it. Yeah. And that needs to be addressed. Do I think we have a problem going back to 4 at the back? Yes, I do. We were a lot solider with 5 at the back. Yeah. But the top and bottom of it, he's gone 4 at the back because Burns ain't at fullback. Yeah. And he wants Burns as a wing position. Well, if that's the case, get in a proper bloody right back because Donassin ain't a right back. And I keep saying this. Sometimes he's at centre back. Sometimes he's at right wing. Sometimes he's at bloody right back. I don't even think he knows what he's doing half the time. He's just wherever he wants to be. And whenever the ball's played long, there's nobody at right back because he's not there. Have a Davies type, a player at right back, we're fine. Now, I think that could have been KV White, but after today's performance, probably not. I think he's more likely to go out the door. I think we need a Davies type player at the right if we're playing 4. If we're not playing 4, we don't, because I still don't think Donassin is a right back. Right now, we're playing 3 centre backs and a left back. Yeah. And I think Donassin plays better as a centre back in a 3. So does Burgess. He plays better as a centre back in a 3. Yeah. And we're playing a player out of position and he keeps drifting in. Now, Donassin came off, so I'm not blaming him for the free kick, but for the penalty. But his replacement came on and gave away the penalty. You know, there's something wrong with our defence. And in these tight games, yeah, whether you like it or not, your defence wins your games. You know, and yes, when we were at 5 at the back, we struggled to score. And I agree with that entirely. That's why we were getting a lot of 0-0s and a lot of 1-1s, because we struggled to score goals. So he's tried to change it so we score goals. But we've gone back to the Paul Cook scenario where we're leaking goals and stupid goals.
We're not scoring the goals that Paul Cook would have scored, just if that's your scenario. You know,
well,
that's
that goes back
for me.
That goes back to the argument about did we get, you know, everybody's saying, oh, the only player we went for was Hurst. We know that's absolute bunk. Yeah. Sometimes you get a window, all your targets won't come for whatever reason. And we don't know what that reason is. You know, I see a lot of people saying, well, maybe we should ask questions. Well, we've had a fans forum and nobody asks questions except what bloody bottle tops we've got. Start asking some proper questions instead of crap. You know, I'm as passionate as anybody else to win a game. Yeah. But I can always see, you know, we've had Lincoln away, we've had Portsmouth away, and we won the home game. Yeah, they are not 3 easy fixtures. When you consider,
but 5 points is not.
I know, but when you consider, yeah, the only hard game Plymouth had, yeah, was Wickham, and Wickham made 7 changes. And
yeah, but that's just excuses to me. They're all excuses.
No, it's not.
All
it's
excuses.
Not. Because Wickham went to that game, said we've got 3 games in a row. Yeah, we're probably going to lose against Plymouth anyway, so I'll change my team. And then Wickham won the 3rd game. Yeah, it's not excuses, it's game management from other teams. I get that. I'm not making an excuse for that. I'm saying you can't turn around and say we've had 3 easy fixtures and everybody else has just had 3 hard fixtures and everybody else has had the same kind of fixtures. You know,
Plymouth ain't playing tiddlywinks every week, Steve. They've got to go and face the same officials, the same different teams.
Well, they've got to weeks.
Forget Plymouth. It's Wednesday now. You're chasing, mate.
Well, did Plymouth and Wednesday beat Lincoln at their ground?
Did they have 10? Did Lincoln have 10 men for most of the game?
Doesn't matter.
Well, it does, because that's the reality of today's thing. Right. You played against 10 men who got a point.
Right, then I'll tell you what. Yeah, we'll go back to another argument. Like I said, I've seen 10 men teams play better than 11 men teams because they've got something to fight for. Yeah, you've seen it. I've seen it. Yeah, even when we've gone down to 10 men, I've seen us win when I didn't expect it. The top and bottom of it is, you know, it's like Mike was saying before. Have we got any championship players? I saw Wolves draw against Chorley. Does that mean Wolves are National League? No. Yeah. You've got to take it in the round, in the game. Will we go up? I don't know. I said right from the start, as long as it's an improvement on last year, yeah, I'd have been happy with the playoffs. Yeah. My expectations rose. My expectations are still top 2. And I think people need to calm down a little bit. Yeah. It's 2 points. Whoopee. Yeah. All it takes. They were playing Cambridge. Cambridge couldn't even beat a bus shelter right now. And we're all mourning because Wednesday beat Cambridge. Well, we beat bloody Cambridge. I'm not crying about it.
When do we play Cambridge? Oh, every single Cambridge fan.
But we beat Cambridge. That's not much of an achievement, is it really, when you think about it in the round? But when they played Lincoln, they didn't win. So when you think about it in the context of the games that they've played and the games that we've played, yeah, It's all much of a muchness. When they play Lincoln, they may not lose. If we're playing Cambridge on the same day, we may win, and then 3 points are gained. It's all shakes out in May. It doesn't shake out in January. And I just think we've got to look at the transfers that come in. Come on, the window's been open 2 days and everybody thinks we're going to sign like Messi after the second day. It takes time. If we want to get these players in, it takes time. Everyone's saying, let's go and spend a potload of money on this guy. I don't see any of them dipping their hand in their pockets to say, well, I'll tell you what, I'll contribute.
They haven't got to, Stephen. They haven't got to because they don't own the football club.
If you're not paying, don't call for it then. Don't call for it if you're not paying.
Why not?
Because Derby did that, and what happened to them?
But you can't.
Do you understand?
Okay. Look at any other club that did it. Fans haven't got to worry about the financial books of a football club.
I'm not saying they are.
No,
you're missing my point. I'm not saying they are. And people are saying, let's throw a potload of money at it. It ain't your money. Yeah? We have
That's
a budget.
why they're doing it. I'm with them. Throw a potload of money at it.
You shouldn't be. We have a budget. Yeah?
Ain't my fucking money. Throw the money at the world. I don't give a damn. All I want to do is see success. I couldn't give a damn if they signed Clark Harrison for 15 million quid. I want to see success. What the fees are irrelevant to me.
Success. We're a Plymouth. We're a Portsmouth.
It would be a whole lot more exciting than
Where's Posh? What did Posh do yesterday?
Geezer's top goal scorer in the division.
No. You're saying I'll spend 15 million on Clark Harris. What's he doing for Posh?
Absolutely.
Do you think he would
score 12 goals? Can you imagine someone scoring 12 goals in this team with Chaplin and Dapo getting his 8?
That's not my point. My point is we're Posh. They're below us, aren't they?
That's like saying Chaplin's not a championship ready player because Town aren't top.
No, I'm saying spending 15 million on Clark Harris does not necessarily mean this team wins. I would rather make astute signings that work and get.
You can insert any name there, by the way, and that's not a fee. I would say we would spend. That's not me saying he's worth 15 million.
What I'm saying is
that was my point. It's not my money. I just want to see this team successful. Yeah, I don't care how they do it.
Everybody thinks winning leagues is a matter of throwing money at it. It's not. Yeah, we've seen that already this season. Plymouth has spent probably 5p on the top of the league. Winning leagues is not about spending.
No, it's about being shrewd with recruitment, and we haven't been done. We didn't do that in the last few embers of the window.
We don't know the players we went for in the summer that said no. Yeah, we know we were dicked about with Leicester, but we don't actually know where we were with the deal with Leicester. We might have been that one ages ago. We don't know. That's why I'm saying these are questions that need to be brought up in fans' forums. If people want answers to questions, and I put this out on Twitter yesterday, I have no problem. Same as, what was the guy, Whittaker. If we're not interested, maybe the club should come out and say, we're not interested. We're not going for him, instead of keeping all these bloody rumours going. Yeah, because if they're interested in a player, I don't expect them to come out. If there's no interest, say something and say we're not interested. And then people don't have to get their hopes up over nothing. Because we're being made mugs out of on Twitter because Plymouth fans are going, see, he's not going. He played for us today, because of all the people that are going out listening to some donut who's sent third-hand information, and everyone's going, hey, he's signing. Let's just calm down, yeah, see what happens, see who comes in. All I'm looking for, yeah, are players who'll come in, who'll do a job and get us over the line. How much we pay for them, couldn't give a monkeys. I don't care whether the loans, don't care whether we borrow them, I don't care whether it costs us a tin of beans. So long as they do a job, I don't care. Yeah, I want targeted recruitment brought in for the right players. Do I think we were light up front? Of course I do. You'd be stupid to say we weren't. Yeah, but the top and bottom of it, sometimes that's circumstance. That's not necessarily something we haven't done. We might have gone out there and had 10 targets and we've gone for every single one, and every single one said no, and then suddenly we're left with nothing. That happens at probably most clubs. We don't know the backstory to these. We don't know the ins and outs of the deals. I've never done a transfer window, and I would probably argue most fans have never done a transfer window. But
I've done several on Football Manager. Thank you very much, Steve.
Exactly, but they think it's like bloody Football Manager, and you can have Cherno Samba from Chelsea at non-league. It doesn't work like that.
No,
players have to
what I would
go.
say is...
And if we're going for championship players, a lot of those probably don't want to come.
Well, then don't go for them. I've only got 31 days.
No, but some do. That's the point. And you have to sift out the ones who will come and the ones who won't. And maybe we got it wrong in the summer. I'm not arguing that fact. Yeah. But the top and bottom of it is we're still better placed now than what we were last season. Yeah. And that's all I'm going off. Yeah. Are we improving? Are we better? Yes, we are. Did I think it was going to be like a miraculous, even Man City didn't become who they are now, in a season. It just doesn't happen like that. It takes gradual progression. And I really want to see, gradual progression. Up to now, we are progressing. I saw it at half time. Twitter's going, oh, we're going to be third. We're going to be third. Even if we won, we were going to be third. Wednesday won 5-0. We were always going to be third, no matter how the result ended. Yeah, we could have won 2-1 and we'd still be third. Yeah. So I think we need
now so the thing out is, and that's why I want to get this right. So a couple of weeks ago it was we're still second, we've got points in hand. We're still second, it's goal difference. Now we've made more progress than last year.
Well,
that's the positive line. But that's the positive line.
No, it's not.
I'm not is that what you're saying?
Do I think we can catch these 2 points up? Of course I can. Of course we can. We could catch them up next week. We don't know. Unless we're all mystic megs with our little crystal balls and we know if they do, give me lottery numbers, I'll put them on. The top of we don't know what's going to happen next week. That's the beauty of football. That's why we enjoy football. Yeah. If we knew what was going to happen, we wouldn't watch it because it'd be boring. Yeah. We watch it because of the excitement and we don't know what's going to happen. Do I think this team can improve? Of course I can. Yeah. Do I think we've got issues? Of course we do. Do I think McKenna's sitting there going, oh, fuck it? No, I don't. Yeah, I think he wants to win. I think the players want to win. I just think sometimes we I don't think it's deluded. Yeah. All I'm saying is, sometimes I think we need to have a little bit of perspective and say sometimes these are all tough games. And most of these games can be decided on a coin toss.
I hate that phrase, by the way.
But it's true, though, isn't it?
Tough place to go. I never heard that once under Lambert. Oh, it's a tough place to go.
No, because usually we lost.
Yeah, but I never heard it once. Never heard it once. Now it's almost every week. Oh, it's a tough place to go.
Well, we did. I heard Lambert say it. I heard Cook say it.
Lambert, the manager will always say it. The manager will always say it. The fans, I mean.
Well, no one was bothered with Lambert saying it because nobody listening.
I'm not about the manager. The manager will always say it's a tough place to go.
No one was listening when anyone was saying it to Lambert because we always knew the result before it started. We lost. Do we lose 3-0 to
very good players?
No, we don't. All I'm saying is we need to have a little bit of context, a little bit of perspective. Yeah. And come March, April, May. Yeah. If we're still 7 points behind Plymouth, we can start having the conversations. Yeah. I'm not throwing the baby out the bathwater right now because I don't know what's going to happen in the next month. In the next month, it could be totally different to the way it is now, like it was last month. Last month, we were looking good. This month, we've had a bit of a wobble and it's looking a bit worse. Next month, we could have romped it and we could be back in contention again. That's the way it swings and roundabouts. And I think people need to calm down. People need to relax. Do we need improvements? Of course we do. And I think Kieran McKenna knows that. I think Mark Ashton knows that. It was muted, a month before the window we were getting players in. Everyone knows we're getting players in. I just think we need to get the right ones in. And I put something out. I'd rather and I think you commented on Discord. I said I'd rather the right players. And I do. I'd rather the right players. Well scouted players who they think can do a job. Rather than just rush out and buy anyone.
See, for me, and I'll ask the same question soon when he comes in. So Neil, listen up. I want players that have got proven production. I don't want players that, he could be good. I want proven production, but I want players coming in that I can look through a career and say, you know what, wherever he's been, he's got goals. Wherever he's been, he's created chances. Wherever he's been, he's got clean sheets. Whatever the position they play, I want proven production.
Well, I could dismiss that right now. Plymouth haven't done that.
I think, but this is not the summer. You have not got the whole. But this is not the summer. You haven't got the whole season to say, well, let's see if it pans out. You've got literally a window after this window is shut to say, make it happen.
Well, my argument to that is then, they didn't have in the summer, but they still took them on, and where are they now? Yeah, it's not all about this person. Everyone's going, let's have Collins, let's have this person. I smell huge Joe Pigott rumours there. Had one good season, come here, does bobbins. Yeah, I want people selected for what they can do and what they can offer us, and they may not work. I grant you. Transfers are risky. They're all risky. Managers are all risky.
So take some of the risk away by going for
But it doesn't, does it?
production.
Then
But
Joe Pigott
if you look at
Joe
risk
Pigott
as
would
a
have been a key
whole,
then, wouldn't he? He has proven production, and Joe Pigott would have been
proven production over the course of a career. I'd have to look at your stats, but I think it was only one season.
Yeah, but the players we're after, if we're going out, say, for a loan player, they're not going to have a proven career, are they? Or they won't be a loan player. Yeah, that's the point I'm trying to make.
I wouldn't go for a loan player.
Well, that's what Plymouth did, and we're there.
But you've just told me Plymouth have no pressure. So if they'd brought in Whittaker and he scored 3 goals and they'd be, let's say, 8th.
Yeah.
You're telling me Plymouth fans wouldn't be too upset with being 8th and a couple of points outside the playoffs?
I'm not saying that at all.
Because you can always say...
I said they don't wet the pants. They don't wet the pants when they draw. Yeah. Our fans are melting down right now because we've drawn a game against a game. We've drawn a game against a team.
The second game in a row, having already drawn against Fleetwood, lost against Lincoln at home.
Well, the Fleetwood game was an anomaly. We all know that. Yeah. And we all know most of the points we've dropped, yeah, have been either down to flukes or mistakes. Yeah.
We get a lot of flukes against us, to be fair.
We do. I'm not saying that we also
like you can't call it fluke.
We also had a bit of, we also, and I said this at halftime, we had a bit of luck going our way with the red card because that could have gone either way, yeah, and it went our way, and we didn't take advantage.
He was last man.
Well, there was a man level with him. I'm not saying he'd have got there, but I've seen those challenges made, and I've seen a yellow card given. All I'm saying is we got the rub of the green there, yeah, and we should have took advantage. We didn't. Yeah, that was probably one of our issues. And when it come down to us having a dubious challenge, they got the rub of the green and they took advantage. That's where the point was. All I'm saying is it's too early to start melting down and saying, "Oh, we're not gonna go up." I don't know that. Nobody knows that. It's very easy to say when you drop points. Yeah, it's a lot less convincing to say when you're second or first. Yeah, but everybody still tries to say it. You know. I love the Fisherman with all my heart. I really do. Sometimes I think he gets a little bit OTT. I don't think we need to throw everything out and rip it up and start again. We are pretty much the better team in every single game. It's been...
Except the one vital part of the statistic line that...
Yeah, but I'm not mentioning scorelines. It's the...
No, because that's what matters, though, isn't it?
No, it's not. It's the small errors. No, it's not. It's the small errors that we make in those games that are very costly. Yeah, that's where we have the problem.
All right, I've got to bring Neil in. He's point blank. Bless him.
I just want to say one thing. I think Morsey had a bad game today. I think his control of the ball in the middle of the park wasn't there. He was losing the ball quite a lot and put us under pressure first half. Yeah, I think he improved second half. But I do think we just need to calm down. This is not me being happy clapper or anything like that. I'm as angry as anybody else. Yeah, but the top and bottom is, I know there's a direction of travel we're on. And changing that now.
It's so do I right now, and it ain't the right one. It's this one.
What? Because we didn't have one. What? They didn't have one shot. They had more than one shot.
Third, Steve. Like the direction
they
of
had
travel.
More than one shot, didn't they? So it's incorrect to start with. Yeah. Well, they had a shot in the first half that went wide, and then they had a penalty. So that's 2 shots at least. Yeah.
2 shots, 1 goal. I wish we had that sort of, we can marksman.
We can argue it till we're blue in the face. This team did exactly the same as they did the other day against Bolton. They scored a goal and they held on to it. Yeah. That's where we need to learn. That's why he changed. I think because we tried this same team that everyone was calling for at the start of the game at Portman Road and we lost. He changed it up. We drew. So you can see an improvement there. He changed it up. We got more than we got at our ground. It's not much, but it's an improvement. You can laugh.
That is a positive I hadn't even considered.
You can laugh.
We didn't get beat. We didn't get beat.
I never said
it's a positive.
What I'm saying is the same side that we played with Davison, Chaplin in, Ladapo in, lost at our ground. Yeah. Now we've changed it. We got a draw. So it's an improvement. It's not good enough. It's not good enough.
3? Should we do best out of 3 of them? Should we do best out of 3 of them?
No.
Rock, paper, scissors?
No. They got what they got. It is what it is. The top and bottom of it is, all I'm saying is we need to stop putting so much pressure on the players and the team, yeah, to go out and think, oh, well, this is a banker. We'll win this. Because there are no bankers. We know this. We've been in this league for 4 bloody years, and every single year, everyone's gone. Whoever we played, whether it's Northampton or Rotherham or whatever, oh, we're going to win this.
Steve. Okay, perfect. Well, appreciate you coming on. Appreciate you coming on. But look after yourself. Neil, I want proven production. Beat wants the right man. They're all the same to me. Right man, but proven production. Where are you? What sort of player do you want to be seeing brought in this window?
I think in the January window, it's not so much getting someone for the future, it's someone for the now to see out the season. Well, you'd hope today's result hasn't really helped us majorly, has it? So
you did call a draw this morning, to be fair.
I did, yeah.
Didn't you?
Because it was likely, wasn't it?
We've scored 6 goals in the last 3 games, but yet we've picked up 5 points from 9. What's the issues at Portman Road? People say we need a goal scorer. We're conceding sloppy goals. What's the remedy? What's the cure? What's the antibiotics we need to bring? Because at the moment, we've gone from 8 clear to goal difference to 3rd.
Well, it's just strange that no matter what striker you put on the pitch, it's the midfielders that are scoring the goals. I think that says everything.
Yeah,
why we haven't
involved. Humphreys with the header. Do you think we're getting enough out of the midfield too? Like I asked earlier, do you think maybe a positional change for Morsey? People are saying he's championship quality. He is, but playing in a slightly different role. Would you switch him back? Would you bring somebody in? Because 3 goals apiece from Evans and Morsey. Evans with 2 assists, Morsey with 3. They're not light up numbers, are they?
Are you thinking Morsey needs to be in a more attacking role rather than a...
Well, he's supposed to be in the attacking role now. That's the thing. I would put him back to being more the enforcer, to sit in front of the back 4, win the ball, and look to bring somebody in who can really... But by this point, I'd have liked to have seen my attacking midfield player, not my number 10, my attacking midfield player be on 5, 6, maybe 7. If you're going to be really, really out in front. I don't know what Plymouth have got. I don't know what Brannigan's got, etc. But Morsey's a great player. But is he not the box to box, or is he a player that he is? Is he more of an enforcer? Because 3 goals and 3 assists, 3 goals for Evans, 2 assists for Evans. It's just they're not light up numbers for me.
No, he has tailed off a little bit. I've thought that for a few weeks now, but to get a player to be on his best throughout a whole season is asking a bit much. I don't really know what to say. You find him in both areas. He's coming deep to get the ball. That's what we want off our midfielders. He is found further forward. I know. There was a player out on the right that got the ball. Was it Evans? He got the ball. I think Burns wanted it. And then Burns has gone deeper and just stands there. You think, well, if we're trying to take the game to them, make a run round the back of him, and then at least you can have the overlap. If the defender follows him, you can cut inside. Why are we going deep and being static? That's not helping anyone.
True. Jack says Evans is the 6, Morsey the 8. The balance works well. He can't do any more than he has done. I don't know. 3 goals, 3 assists, 3 goals for Evans as well. I think he's more of an enforcer. I want more goals. Because something needs to give, Neil. Whether it's you stop conceding sloppy goals or you score more goals. Now you could argue.
I don't believe that theirs was a penalty. To be honest, it was one of those where the referee has decided that this next corner, if someone falls over, it's going to be a penalty. You get those. You think times in a championship where you just knew that if someone falls over in the box, it's a penalty, just because the referee has decided that he's had a word with the players and the wind's blowing the right way. That's how I feel. It's just rubbish, because you think Lee got pulled back so he couldn't make the header, then it's like it never even happened.
I haven't seen it back to know if it's a penalty or not. it does remind me of Jonas Knudsen at Reading a little bit, where if you give it this time, you're never going to stop giving it through any game in the history of football, because everyone does it. But that's football. That at this level, you've got to take it out of the referee's hands, haven't you? And we don't do that enough. You know, it's consistency, isn't it, across the board? Whereas,
besides that, you think the amount of times Ladapo's drag wide, and the numerous chances we've had. Another day, Morsey did have a shot that was really tame. He would sting that one, and then potentially a midfielder or a striker would have a tap in. There were so many occasions we should have got the 3-1 I mentioned pre-game, but it just didn't happen. The keeper towards the end had a bit of a flap. His positioning was wrong. You think another time someone could have tapped that in. Ifs, buts, and maybes. It didn't work out for us. We've got to do more.
Ifs, buts, and maybes, yeah.
I don't believe it's. Yeah, it is, but the game's
How
done.
did you
now.
see Jackson's
just need
game?
to go next time.
I wouldn't say he won the red card for us, but he forced the red card.
Well, you'd say Morsey, if he hadn't have done that, that's something you need more from Morsey or any player that we've got. You don't see enough of those really good passes that creates that opportunity.
True, was a good ball through. Whether he would have finished it or not is irrelevant. That's what he gives you, isn't it? Away from home, that pacing behind Caden Jackson.
If he's not doing it, we need someone that can do exactly the same thing.
Yeah, spot on. Yeah, we are a man short up front, obviously due to John Jules being injured. But even with John Jules fit, he wasn't always the answer. He was a raw player, he was a young player, a player that was one day really good, another player.
That one game where John Jules took on a few players and slotted it in the corner.
Early part of the season, yeah.
That's where you want a player that can do everything Jackson does, but then he can do that finish as well.
Absolutely. But then I always look at positional positions as a room. Was the striking room ever going to be good enough with Ladapo, Jackson, Hadmi, and Tyrese John Jules, even if all four had stayed fit? Was that really the four that were going to really fire you into a promotional? Because two of them have played most of the season. One's got 3 goals. The other one, well, Hadmi's not played most of the season. I do accept that, but hasn't offered much.
No. Well, we said before the game that we believe Jackson potentially is more of a winger than a striker. Ladapo, for me, is, even though now he has scored a couple, he's still positionally not where I want him when we do get a ball in the box. I know quite a few of our crosses are either hit long or a little bit of a wherever there is a gap to sneak the ball, put it there, or hit the first man. If there's an area to improve on, it would be that, to potentially give our strikers a better chance. But the amount of times you think, well, there is a gap, the wingers put it there, why isn't the striker in that position? So between those two scenarios, that's something that needs to be answered.
Yeah.
Not potentially in the media, but in the training ground.
Rotherham up next in the FA Cup. Is it a welcome break, or is it good to get back out in the league action as soon as possible? How do you think it feels?
I don't know if we're really going to do a great deal in the FA Cup. I know it'd be nice to get a bit further, but we spoke about winning mentality and getting on a run and what would happen if we had a few defeats. If we lose it again, but then win the week after, we'd all say, who cares? We're doing what we need to do in the league. So you could say it's a little bit of a needed break. We don't know what team is going to put out yet, whether he considers it important or not. But
I don't want to see any senior players out there. Not after the hardest injury in the Pointless Cup. That just play some players that haven't played for a while, get through it, get back to league action, and get back to winning ways. and get back to doing what we do best, playing good football, attractive football that wins games of football. And we've not quite done enough over the last couple of weeks in games where we've drawn to win the game. That's got to change because this football club has won too many games. 8, I think, to Wednesday 7. Now the season's not over; a long time to go. Wednesday and Plymouth will both play hard teams. That's no doubt coming up. Greg Lee, finally, as we round off, how did you see his performance today? He stepped in for Leif Davis. Don't know anything about the injury to Leif, if it is an injury. How did you see his performance today?
He's not a Leif Davis, and via how it was when we signed them in the summer, we never believed he would be. To be fair to the guy, he's come in and done the best he can. He's a defender, not a striker or an attacking midfield sort of winger, and so you can't expect him to take it all past everyone and whip a ball in. It's just not his style.
No, absolutely not. And my voice is returns. Yes, the Paul Cook impression is coming along rather nicely. It just went. I don't know where it went. It just went.
We'd be saying different things if, like I say, he weren't held back and he got that header in. We got the
apparently
goal.
Davis has the bug. Bless. Well, wish him nothing but being better ASAP. We need him. I've turned into Barry White. I've been around the world. That's one of Barry White's songs, I think. Anyway,
why did we sub Donasian?
I think he was injured. I think.
Okay.
I don't know. I blinked, and then I went out for a drink, came back from the kitchen, and he'd gone off. I was like,
yeah, you done the same as me. I was hoping someone would.
But it wasn't an instant. It wasn't an instant. It was only a couple of minutes later when it was.
Because I think one of the commentators was on about it was a tactical change. But
fair enough.
In my eyes, it was never going to be a positive. As much as Donasian isn't a force to be reckoned with on the old cross and front, he's solid in defence. So
I think the changes today, whether they were tactical or otherwise, were a little late in coming. I felt they probably could have come at any point in that second half, like from 47 minutes onwards, and no one would have really had a cause to say, oh, he didn't have long enough to say what he could do. Because when they were made, we were better. Despite being a goal down, despite them probably sitting in a little bit more, we were better. We just didn't make the changes for me quick enough today. We weren't proactive. It was more of a reactive situation.
I guess so. It was almost things were working. I say their goal was a bit of bullshit, but bar that, we were going okay, weren't we? Possession, as brilliant as it was, didn't manifest itself into anything meaningful.
Not. No. You could say that for any of our games this year. Right, we are back on Wednesday, 8:30 with myself and Matt Phillips. Well, hopefully we've all calmed down, chilled out, got a few, maybe even had a sign. I mean, obviously make a signing before then. I'll be back. You'll see my beautiful face the moment we sign somebody. But yeah, back on Wednesday. Town have drawn 1-1. We've got Carl Duncan, Benjamin Michael, defence keeping the league, strikers get you out. Most important window in a generation. I don't know. I think the Mick window with Sears is probably a little bit more important, just because you had the chance to go back to the Premier League. But hopefully we do better than we did on that one. Carl Duncan, not so sure he's a start, but he looks worse than he's due now to how good Davis has been. Ala Wes Burns for me. Andrew JD has not been well, had to come off. I hope he feels better soon. Wazis, the League One McKenna at the Premier League. Start playing 2 up top and lump the bloody thing in the box, the old fashioned. Yeah, but as Ashton says on our trailer when he came on in the summer, we know how McKenna played. He's not going to lump it. I just think we need to get him better players off the bench. Today, he had those because he played the better players.
Edwards didn't do enough today, did he?
So
every time he got the ball, I just never felt he was ever going to beat his man.
That's why I would have loaned him out in the summer. And people keep sort of saying I'm wrong on that, and maybe I am wrong on it. But I would have preferred him to have played already 20 odd games and be further along in his development than where he is right now, because he's still such an inconsistent young player. He needs to be playing games to develop the experience to eventually, work the kinks out, the inconsistencies of his game. But he's not doing that at the moment.
I don't think it's been quite the same since that moron sent him off for a dive that wasn't.
Well, no, that was never a penalty in a million years. But again, you need some quality around the players we've got. Ian says Edwards never does enough. Brentford and 2-0 in Liverpool. Can anyone see that being us in a few years? Not right now. Not tonight, Rob. Wrong night to ask that question, mate. Ask me Boxing Day. I told you we're already there. But yes, right, we're done. Mr. Positivity. A huge thank you to the super chat we received from, where's my notes? From David. Thank you very much, David. Really appreciate that. Thanks for all the comments in the chat. Hit the like button. We had over 300 watching it live at one point. Make sure you hit the like button if you can't support the platform, because that is completely free. But until Wednesday at 8:30, unless Ashton pulls a rabbit out of a hat, we're done. We're dusted. Town are drawn again. Now sitting third. Bosh.
You make me smile when I think of you. If I get down or when I get blue, I can't get enough. Hopeless lover. You make me happy, I feel so fine. Oh, how I wish that you were mine. I can't get enough. Hopeless lover. I woke up all soaked in sweat, with chills running down my neck. I thought went crazy from just the thought of you. A long blonde hair.